point in time. Okay. Well, welcome everyone to Comstock Public Library Summer Fun with Essential Oils. My name is Madeline Hausner and I'm a librarian, both a school librarian and a public librarian. I kind of like libraries, I don't know. I like research too, I'll be honest with you. And I kind of got started with essential oils about 5 years ago. I found myself in a situation where I needed something to help calm me down. I was in a work situation and it was very uncomfortable. And needless to say, a friend came to me with some essential oils, and I found that just putting a drop or two on my hand and rubbing my hands together and inhaling them just really helped me out a lot, because when you breathe in through your nose, right above your nose is your olfactory bulb, and that's connected to your olfactory system, which then sends out signals to your limbic system. And your limbic system controls things like your blood pressure, your heart rate, your cortisol levels, so many things that go on in your body. So even just smelling in the oils has a direct effect on the body. So that was pretty cool. And that kind of got me started to wonder a little bit about these. At first I thought that they were, you know, voodoo kind of stuff. Because I also was in pharmaceutical sales, truth be told. So I was like, yeah, this stuff doesn't work. But I pursued it a little bit further and found out that, in fact, there was a whole science behind how essential oils work and why they work, which is really kind of cool for me. So I've continued on that journey. Just a little story on myself. Diagnosed with hypothyroidism when my oldest was born, which was about 30 years ago. And so I've been taking my Synthroid, but I decided to try a different approach, and I've been using the essential oils to help jumpstart my thyroid again. So you may say, huh, what? Yeah, there's a couple of oils that really are beneficial to the thyroid. And between that and watching my diet and doing some exercise, I have lost 30 pounds since February of 2019. So I am thrilled that I see this working for me. And the other interesting thing is when I stop using the oils, I stop losing the weight. So I know things are working. I'm also under a doctor's care, so I still take my Synthroid. I'm not going off it. She keeps checking my thyroid levels, and they keep increasing and coming up, which means my thyroid is regenerating. I also had a nodule at one point. Nodule's gone, and she said she can palpate the thyroid. So I feel like I've got a little mini success story going on, proof positive that the oils work for me. So I'd like to turn this over to my very good friend, Patty Eichort, and I'd love to hear her story too.
Thank you, Madeline. Hello, my name is Patricia Eichort. I work at the Comstock Public Library as well. I'm a certified aromatherapist. I got interested in essential oils probably as long as Madeline has, but she's the one who introduced me to the real pure essential oils. Back then, my son had been, we all were lighting candles for the essence and the aroma the candles would give us, and one of them fell asleep with a candle lit. So I was like, no more candles. So he went and bought a diffuser and essential oils from Walmart, and that's what we were using. One morning I came into work at the library, and Madeline was doing the program. She had wild orange diffusing in the community room, and I was like, oh my goodness, what is that? And that is how she introduced me to essential oils. And my love grew from there, and I went to a program to become a certified aromatherapist. And I love to learn about it. We make potions and lotion. It's just fun. You can make soap. There's so many benefits you get from essential oils. And I personally love it for the benefits it does for people who have arthritis in their hands and anywhere in their body. A lot of the oils have a cooling effect and an anti-inflammatory, and they help reduce the inflammation in the bones and the joints. So that is my one goal to think that I truly use it for, and I have used it for years for that, to give me some relief with the arthritis that I do have. So Madeline has a little presentation for us tonight. And after that, we will do our DIYs and show you some recipes. Thank you.
Thanks, Patty.
You're welcome.
Okay. Let me just get to that presentation that I have, which is right there. There we go. Okay. I just move this out of the way. So I don't know about you guys, but I am very happy summer is here. I love the sun and I love being outdoors, but I also know I need to get more hydration and more water, because if we hydrate ourselves inside, it also affects our outside, like our skin and other things too. It's really important for us to hydrate. Sorry, I was just managing the waiting room there. Okay, so one of the things, just a little tip suggestion, you might want to consider swapping out soda or sugary drinks for water. You might want to consider adding some flavor to it, because plain water can just be a little boring sometimes. And you could consider adding a few drops of an essential oil, maybe like lemon or lime or peppermint or spearmint. I would also be careful with the oils that I do use. You would only use ones that are indicated for internal use, not oils are. There's a particular brand that Patty and I both like because of its quality and its therapeutic effects that can be taken internally. And we'll mention that a little further on. I did hear from a holistic health coach who mentioned that if you take your body weight, divide that by half, that should be the amount of water you drink per day in ounces. So let's just say, for example, 150 pounds, divide that by 2, comes out to 75. You should be drinking 75 ounces of water per day. So especially with the summer, we know that the sun and the heat can be draining. So it's a really good idea to keep hydrated. So some of the other problems that we see coming around summertime are sunburns, ouch, mosquito bites, oh, I hate those, little heat exhaustion going on, or maybe even more so this week. And we also have some issues with our beloved pets, with both fireworks going on and also maybe with some ticks and fleas. So we have some ideas and some suggestions to help you guys out. But one of the things that we want to make sure, you can buy chemicals, right? You can buy, products right now over the counter. But the question is, take a look at the ingredients on the back of the bottle. And according to the Environmental Working Group, some of these chemicals are probably not as safe as you would hope they are. Matter of fact, for a while I've got a Neutrogena Beach Defense that we happened to purchase just because we needed something, and I took a look at the ingredients and I said, that's going back, I'm not using it. So we have to think a little bit about harmful ingredients. There are potentially toxic chemicals in products that we use today. Phthalates, triclosan, parabens, and the word fragrance can be kind of misleading, to say the least. According to fragrance, federal law doesn't require companies to list any of the chemicals in their fragrance mixture on a product label. Research from the Environmental Working Group and the Campaign for Safe Cosmetics found an average of 14 chemicals in 17 name brand fragrance products, and none of these chemicals were listed on the label. And we know that fragrances can contain hormone disruptors and are among the top 5 allergens in the world. So one of the things that you want to be aware of is you want to look for products that disclose what their fragrance ingredients are. Interesting to note, the average person is exposed to approximately 129 to 500 plus unique chemicals daily. Our cleansing organs become clogged and strained And when I say our cleansing organs, we're talking about our liver, our kidneys, our lungs, our skin, and our bladder. When they become overloaded trying to get rid of these chemicals, it can lead to problems in the body, including pain, headaches, brain fog, fertility issues, fatigue, depression, anxiety, and more. And this information came from one of the publications, one of the magazines that Comstock has on their shelves called Mother Earth Magazine. I don't know if you've had the chance to take a look at it. Pretty cool. You can also access it through online through a device, through an app called Flipster, actually, to see it. So that's where this information is coming from. What's our goal? Well, for me, I'm trying to use more natural products that don't contain toxic chemicals and are nurturing to my skin. And that's why we came up with these DIY recipes so that you can have summer fun while using natural products that don't contain toxic chemicals. Okay, well, welcome back. One of the things, and what I'm going to try to do is lower my computer so that you can actually see me making some of these things. But before I get started, I do want to mention I do my research. There's a couple of books that I can recommend. One is called Smart Mom's Guide to Essential Oils by Dr. Maritza Snyder. There's some very good recipes in here, and Comstock does own this particular book. Another book by Eric Zielinski, The Essential Oils Diet. He's known as Dr. Z, and his wife is Mama Z. Chock full of stuff in here, very interesting. What I do too is I actually, and I think Patty does this as well, I take a look at the books that the library has first to see if I like them. And if I do, then I'll go ahead and buy them. But if it doesn't work for me, I don't want to spend the money on it. So I really enjoy having access to the public library. And whatever Comstock doesn't have, if someone else in Suffolk County does, we can borrow it for you. So that's kind of cool. There's another book by Dr. Maritza Snyder. This is called The Essential Oils Hormone Solution. This was also pretty amazing too. And there's one other book that I have, and I just absolutely love this one, called The Essential Life Book. This is like my Bible because it goes through body systems, it goes through oils, it goes through supplements, and it has recipes and so many other things. So that's sort of like my Bible that I go to. Okay.
Excuse me, Madeline.
Yeah.
You think someone just asked about the title of the first book you showed?
Oh,
so
sure.
Maybe we could put them in the chat somehow, or is there any way for us to do that later?
While you're doing your DIY, I'll type it into the chat. It's called The Smart Mom's Guide to Essential Oils by Dr. Maritza Snyder. That's S-N-Y-D-E-R. And I'll put them in the chat for you. Sure. Okay. Okay. So if you give me a second, I'm going to try to lower my screen a bit. So just bear with me while I shift you around. Hope you don't mind me moving you. I've tried this a couple of different ways, and this seems to be the best. Okay, so let's see, can we get that the way I want it to? I think so. Okay, so one of the first recipes that I have here is called our Summer Cooling Spray. And ta-da, there we go. It is a small little 10 milliliter bottle. Dark in color, this isn't glass, but this is a particular, it's called a PET plastic, which means it's a very high quality, and that's what I use. And what I like about it, the recipe that I'm going to make is going to use peppermint essential oil. Peppermint is invigorating. It also deters bugs. And what I like about it is it's strong. So 1 drop of the peppermint essential oil is equivalent to 28 cups of herbal tea. So what you'll find is that the essential oils are more powerful than herbs and their supplements. So what I do is I take the bottle and I open the top. You see it's a little sprayer. And I'll add in anywhere from 10 to 15 drops of the peppermint. I already have it made up, or I wouldn't be doing that right now. And then I'll fill that with distilled water. There we go. So I use the distilled water because I know that any impurities are removed from it. And I know that
The sound went off.
Okay, coming back. So what I do is yeah, I'm trying to mute a few people right now because everybody is muted at this point in time, excepting for Patty and myself. Okay, the cool down spray is great. Peppermint, what I do is I spray it on myself when I need a cool down. I don't spray it in my eyes, I don't spray it in my ears, but I'll always shake it first. I especially like to use it before I go for a walk in the morning because number one, I know that the peppermint keeps the buggies away, and sometimes when you're walking, you get those CMs flying around. And number two, when I come back from my walk, I'm also a little hot and sweaty, and I'll spray it on myself, and I can feel the cooling happening right now. So it's a real nice, simple, easy way to take care of things. Yeah, there is an echo. I'm trying to figure out where that could be. And everyone is muted at this point in time. It could be if someone is on two devices, but it doesn't look that way. Okay, trying my best here. Okay, there is another that I'd like to share with you. Okay. So I don't know about you guys, but I am allergic to mosquitoes. I have been since I was little. I get bitten by a mosquito, I get a huge welt, and I start itching like none other. I came home the other day and I had a huge welt on the top of my shoulder. No kidding. It was this big. It was hot. It was throbbing, and it was very inflamed. And it was just, I wanted to rip it apart. And so there is an antihistamine mix that I make myself, and it contains lemon, lavender, and peppermint. And the three of those combined together have super antihistamine effects. So what I'll do is, this is a little glass roll-on bottle, and what I'll do is I will fill it with 10 drops of lemon, 10 drops of peppermint, and 10 drops of lavender. So we know that lavender is cooling to the skin. We know that lemon is cleansing to the skin, and we know that peppermint also has some cooling effect too. They also work as an anti-inflammatory. Later on that night, unbeknownst to me, I had a mosquito in my bedroom, and I got a bite on my chin, which is over here, and I got another bite down on my arm, and they all kind of blew up. So what I do is I literally just take this, I shake it up, and I just apply it like that. And I find it takes away the itch, the sting. I might even rub it in a little bit. I know that it's just an oil from the lemon rind, from the peppermint leaves, and from the lavender buds and stems and flowers. So I know it's all natural. And to be honest with you, that mosquito bite that I had up here that was huge, you can barely see it now. And that was 3 days ago. So I'm doing really good. I have to tell you, this is like my favorite right now to keep with me. I even take it in my bag to work in case I start itching, because sometimes, you know, if that happens to you. Okay, so another recipe that I wanted to share with you was called Beach Wave Salt Spray. So I don't know if you guys want to have a little beachy waves going on in your hair, but that we've got a great little recipe here to make it. So I'm gonna bring my ingredients over to kind of work with you. I think the echo's gone, am I right? Does that sound good? Sound better? Okay, so I am going to a half a cup of hot water, and I'm gonna just see if I can move my screen around a little bit so that you can see what I'm putting together. I know it's not the best. I wish I had like a little camera and the whole 9 yards, but okay, you guys get it, right? So a half a cup of hot water. There we go. I'm gonna need a tablespoon of aloe vera gel, and I usually buy this at a health food store, just because I know that it's, I know what's in it, because I don't want any extra added chemicals. I think that's also part of the reason why I'm doing so well with my thyroid, is that I'm really reducing my impact with chemicals. Patty and I did a program about cleaning with essential oils, and I have to tell you, I don't buy ammonia anymore. I don't use ammonia. I use white vinegar, water, and lemon. Okay, so I add in the aloe vera gel, and now I add a half a tablespoon of sea salt. And here is my half a teaspoon. And I used hot water so that I can get the salt to dissolve. And by the way, I used Himalayan sea salt. It's the only kind of salt that I want to use because it has the least amount of chemical processing involved with it, and it's got some really good benefits. And a half a teaspoon of fractionated, tablespoon, it's teaspoon actually, half a teaspoon of fractionated coconut oil. Again, for a fractionated coconut oil, I tend to buy a good quality one. I like this particular one because it comes in a pump bottle. It's therapeutic grade and it's all natural. I buy that one off Amazon. And again, I'm going to keep continuing to mix it. Now, I would normally put this in a 4-ounce spray bottle, but because I'm going to give it to two friends, I'm going to mix it between two. And I'm going to add 3 drops of lavender, just because I like the smell. And then I'm also going to add 2 drops of rosemary. Rosemary is really good for anything related to hair or the scalp. It helps with dandruff. Oh, I lost my notes. It helps with dandruff, hair growth, anything at all. Now I've got this and I've got it mixed up pretty well. And I'm going to pour it into my little container over here. This is a 3-ounce that I have because I didn't have a 4-ounce. I'm going to get pretty close to the top. And oh, it smells really nice if you like rosemary. And so this is my little, so what I'll do is when my hair is wet, I will spray this around a couple of places, front, back, and try to get it, I don't want my hair saturated, but I want it, you know, damp enough. And then what I'll do is I'll scrunch it as it's drying to get those beach waves in it. I know it's in here. I know there's no chemicals. So you saw exactly what was in here. Water, aloe vera gel, sea salt, fractionated coconut oil, rosemary, and lavender. So a great way to get little beachy waves. And it's, I love taking the smaller ones because then you can take it with you if you head down to the beach or whatever else. And I've got one more recipe to share with you, and that is my Soothing Sunshine Spray. And so I have to tell you, growing up as a redhead, I didn't always put on sunscreen, and I got quite a few sunburns in my lifetime. So I'm very, very cautious now, and I'm very worried. But I'm taking it one day at a time. But my daughter, who's also a redhead, came back and had gotten herself a little sunburn. So I made this, yes, I'll share the recipes with you. Oh, someone just asked, I'll go back in 1 second. I'll finish, go with the Soothing Sunshine Spray. A question for the aloe vera gel, it was 1 tablespoon of the tablespoon of the aloe vera gel for the Beach Wave Salt Spray. And the recipes, I do have a hyperlink, which I will send, and I think it's still, there we go. There is the link to all the recipes, and I do believe that the recording and the recipes will be uploaded to the Comstock Public Library webpage tomorrow, so you should have access to it. If by any chance I don't see it happening, I can always ask the programmer if we can send you guys a copy of the recipes. How does that sound? Okay? All right. Let me just get my ingredients together. My Soothing Sunshine Spray is a glass bottle, aloe vera juice, fractionated coconut oil, vitamin E oil, lavender, melaleuca, and peppermint. And I'll be right back. I'm just getting all my stuff together. Here's my aloe vera juice. Don't worry, I'm not leaving you. Here's my fractionated coconut oil. Vitamin E oil is so good for the skin. And I need my lavender, my melaleuca, and my peppermint. There we go. And I got my bottle. Okay. So this is a 4-ounce glass bottle that I'm going to be using. The recipe says an 8-ounce, but you guys know best. I don't think I'm going to use 8 ounces of it just because I know who I am and I'm not going to get sunburned. Neither is my husband. So I'm going to cut the recipe in half, or I'll make it full, but I'm only going to fill up a 4-ounce bottle, but just to let you know. And I like using the glass bottles because of the fact that you're putting essential oils in it. I want it to stay pure. I don't want it to degrade the plastic. Again, if you use the PET plastic, PET, and you combine it with fractionated coconut oil or some other additive, you should not have a problem. But if you were to put straight oils into a PET plastic, you might have some problems down the road of it degrading, that's all. Okay, so we call for, so I have a 1/4 cup of aloe vera juice. This is to make a 4-ounce bottle. So a 1/4 cup of aloe vera juice, a 1/4 cup of the fractionated coconut oil, oh, I just realized you can't see what I'm doing. There we go. Is that better? Okay. I need a teaspoonful of vitamin E oil, which is so healing to the skin. It's great. There we go. And then next I'm going to add 8 drops of my lavender. Again, lavender is calming. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lavender, oh, I got 1 extra drop in there. Lavender is one of the oils that's known as calming to all. It's calming to the mind, it's calming to the body. And it's a beautiful oil, especially wherever you have any issues. The next oil that I'm going to put in there is called melaleuca or tea tree. Super antibacterial. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Super helpful in any conditions where infection might be present or might be getting down to that road. And then peppermint. I love peppermint because it's cooling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops, 8. Oh, okay, 1 extra drop went in there. Sometimes that happens. I'm going to stir this up. It looks a little thick, and it is a little thick. Okay, and one of my other tricks in using this, I'm back. I'm going to refrigerate this because I want it to be cooling, especially if I have a sunburn. I want it to feel cooling to my skin. Someone asked what the last ingredient was, and that was, it called for lavender, melaleuca, and peppermint. So I'm actually going to spray a little bit on my hand, and I'm going to rub it in. Very nice, very, very gentle, very gentle. I don't know if you can see on here. I'm just very gently rubbing it on my skin, and it's actually very moisturizing, and it feels very cooling. Awesome. Okay. And now, how long will it last in the bottle? I didn't put any distilled water in there. It's aloe vera juice. As long as I keep it refrigerated, I would say, you know, I think by the end of the season, or, you know, at least 3 to 6 months shouldn't be a problem. Patty, do you have any thoughts on that?
I would definitely say at least, I wouldn't go up to 6 months. I would say no more than 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Pretty much begin it at the season, and you could finish it up probably by about September. But nice little bottle, nice little container, nice little way to keep it in, again, in the refrigerator. And now there's no greasy, I don't feel a greasy residue. I just feel my skin very emollient right now, which is really what you want to do when you've burned your skin. In essence, you've burned it. So by the way, just a little tip to let you know, anytime you have a burn in the kitchen, lavender. Barbecue burn, lavender. It helps to take the sting away and the burn away, and you just keep applying it as often as you need. Someone asked, can you make your own aloe vera juice from a large leaf? Yes, you can. I was Googling today on, and I saw there were a lot of different recipes out there. They just want you to be careful not to have any of the green residue, the green leaf left in there. Because that can be toxic. I would try to just make sure that you cut the sides of the leaf and then peel it away, and then you've got the inside gel, which you can use a knife to extract. Someone asked, would you or can you recommend brands or vendors, especially for unrefined coconut oil, aloe vera, glass bottles? As far as the glass bottles go, there's 2 companies that I tend to go with, and sometimes Amazon. Aroma Tools is one company, and the other one is Oil Life, and those 2 are big suppliers for essential oils. So I tend to go, you know, order my things in bulk from them, and then I have it on hand. I don't usually order like 1 item or 2. I'll order like a pack of 10 kind of thing. The aloe vera gel, I would definitely go to like a health food store. I wanted to make sure that I got something that was pure. So I have the aloe vera gel. I was out looking for the juice. I saw the juice was available at the supermarket, but when I looked closer, I saw that it was made in, not in the USA, and it had a couple more ingredients that I wasn't particularly, I wasn't particularly thrilled with. So I go to a health food store to get my aloe vera gel, okay? And I think, oh, the unrefined is actually fractionated coconut oil. And we call it fractionated because it means that it's in a liquid state. So you can buy coconut oil, you know, organic coconut oil. It's white usually at the supermarket or one of the big box stores. As a matter of fact, I happened to be in BJ's today, and a lot of their large containers of coconut oil are now melted. But they'll refreeze again and turn white. So the fractionated just means that it's in a permanent liquid state, and especially if you're blending it for anything. I like this brand. I also like, now I think you've kind of seen, Patty and I both really like this particular brand of essential oils. Not all are created equal. The better the quality of the oil, the better the therapeutic benefit will be. And the key to all of that is purity. So you want to be careful with adulterated products, meaning that they have additional chemicals added to them. And that's kind of why I say with a fractionated coconut oil, you want to try to get as pure as possible. We know that those added chemicals can not be the best for you, for your system, and I want something as pure as I can. So I always recommend people to research the companies that they're interested in. Smell them first before you purchase them. I've had so many people say to me, oh, I have lavender, I have lavender. And I say, well, you want to just smell what this one is like? And once they smell it, they go, ah, oh my God, I can't believe the difference, like the purity of this particular one. So you can always ask for samples too. Research, learn how the product is distilled. How is it produced? That's a big part of all of this. Is the company transparent with their testing results? What I really like about this particular company is the fact that first of all, they know the farmers, they know the harvesters, they know the distillers. So they already have a relationship built up with them. Number two, they're there on the premises when the oil is distilled, and they immediately take samples and they run chemical testing on it. It's a GCMS, gas chromatography, mass spectrometry. They're looking for 100 different things that should not be there, including pesticides, heavy metals, anything that may have been in the soil, anything that may have been sprayed on them. And if they find any of that, then they don't take the oil. But because they have this relationship already established, they know that it has to be pure. So once they do the testing and it's fine, they ship it back to bottle it. Before they even bottle it, they test it a second time. Now, these are very expensive tests. I don't know anybody that does this level of testing other than this company. It's called doTERRA. So that's number two, is that they test it a second time before they bottle it to make sure, again, looking for at least 100 different components that shouldn't be there. And then after they bottle it, they take one of the bottles off the assembly line, and before they release it to the public, they independently test that third bottle just to make sure. So when you know you're getting something that's pure and unadulterated, you know that you're getting something at a therapeutic level. And that's going back to me, my story with my hypothyroidism. I know that the oils that I'm using are pure. I know that they're not adulterated, and I see things happening in a positive way for me. So someone said, why don't I just put all the ingredients in an email? Well, I did include the PDF to the document, so if you can copy the PDF, that's great. If you can't, I believe the hyperlink will be on the Comstock Public Library webpage tomorrow, along with the recording. And if I don't see that, I will ask the programmer if they can send it out to you in an email. How does that sound? Okay? Now, without further ado, I'd love to turn this over to Patty. She's got great information for us and some great recipes. So thank you. And Patty, here you go.
Thank you, Madeline. So before I get into my recipes, I'm just going to touch on what Madeline was talking about. You know, when I took the essential of the aromatherapy program, one of the main things they said is to make sure you're buying pure, sprayed essential oils. That's very, very important, especially today, because oils are everywhere. You know, if you can't get the information on the oil you're purchasing and making sure that it's pure and not synthetic, you're not getting a great oil. You might as well just put chemical into, you know, on your body, however you're using your oil, using the air to diffuse it. So that's one of the main keys they really explain to us in the aromatherapy program, is to make sure the oils that you're getting are pure, and make sure that they can provide you with the research that they've done to test those oils. And that should be something that should be on hand from oil companies. And also, you know, Madeline was talking about the bottles that we use, and it's very important. If you notice, the oils that we get, if they're good oil, they're coming in a dark bottle. The reason for this is so that the sun does not penetrate through the bottle and break down the potency of the oil. So when we make any type of bug spray, whatever we want to put in here, cleaning agent, anything, we're going to use a colored bottle. It may it be amber, may it be blue, purple, just so the sun and light cannot penetrate through and break down the potency of the oil. So that's why we use the bottles. You can use the plastic. It's not going to have as long as a shelf life in it, you know, because it is in plastic. So my opinion on plastic would be travel with it. Great to have, because you don't want it to break on you. So if you're at a party and you want to put your bug spray in a plastic bottle, make it in the big one for home, keep it stored, dump it into the plastic one to take it for travel. Okay?
Patty,
Yes?
quick question. Someone was asking, is there a difference between the blue and the amber bottles?
No, none at all. It's just that they're colored. You know, I guess they're just trying to give you variety. It's just making sure that they're colored. That's all that matters. And if you notice, the plastic one is purple. So it's just to give you variety. Okay, so I'm going to start with my recipes. And the first recipe that I have today is a cooling lavender compress. So we're going to use aloe vera juice, lavender essential oil, peppermint oil, and Roman chamomile oil. And the aloe vera juice is wonderful because it's an antioxidant, antibacterial, and it has great healing properties for the skin. And then when you add the oils, lavender and Roman chamomile, which both have great property healing for the skin as well. And then you're going to put the peppermint in there to cool the skin that may have gotten too much exposure from the sun. So I'm going to start by getting out a bowl. And in the bowl, I'm going to put 12 ounces of cool water. One tablespoon of the aloe vera juice. So we have measured out. 4 drops of lavender. And as you pour your oils, you don't really want to shake it out. You want to let it drop on its own free will. Every oil is different. You have wood oils who come out to take a little bit longer to get 4 drops because it's a thicker oil. You don't want to take a bottle and force it out like that. You want it to come out on its own natural pace by just holding it sideways and allowing it to drop. Because that's how you're getting the true 1 drop out of the orifice of the top of the oil. We're going to use 1 drop of peppermint. This will give you the cooling. Whoop, I got one extra. It's going to give you the cooling effect. The lavender is going to soothe the skin that may have been exposed too much. And 2 drops of Roman chamomile. And this oil as well, Roman chamomile is a soother for the skin. And we're just going to blend it together. And actually, you can use a rag to dry off. And then put your fork into the bowl. Let it get nice and wet. And then you're just going to wring the cloth out and just place it on your body wherever you feel you might have gotten the most sun exposure. I don't know about you, but I burn very oddly. Some areas I get, could be the same back part of my leg, but one part burnt worse than the other because that's all I do is burn. And then you're just going to lay it across your skin and let it stay there until the cloth is no longer cool. And then you'll place it right back into the water and do it again. So this is a nice, quick, easy one to do at home. I wish I knew about it when I was a child because it would have saved me a lot of moaning and groaning. The next one I'm going to do is a bug repellent. And I love this bug repellent because I don't know about you, but I hate to spray bug spray on me from the store. I think it's just disgusting. It feels gross. It smells gross. It's just all the chemicals in it. I'd rather not spray it on me at all, and that's not good either. So we're going to use 5 different oils in here. So we're going to use peppermint, cedarwood, arborvitae, eucalyptus, and lemongrass. Now the peppermint wards off bugs, but is also nice and cooling on your skin. Cedarwood is a natural bug repellent. It also helps, it has healthy benefits for the skin. Arborvitae as well as a natural insect repellent. It's great for your respiratory system and promotes healthy skin. Eucalyptus is another one that's very beneficial for the skin, and it's also known as a key ingredient in many medications. And lemongrass, this one is a big insect and bug repellent, but it also has a nice lemony odor, so it's a refresher when you have it on you after spraying. You don't have that smell of the chemical of the bug spray. So we're going to start with the lemongrass I have, and we're going to just drop it right into the bottle, and I'll just count them out. 20 drops. We're going to do the same with the rest of them. If you notice, a lot of the oils, they're all different, but a lot of them you can use to, they have the same benefits as well as other benefits. Like lemongrass is great for the digestive system. Peppermint is great for the digestive system. Eucalyptus is great for the respiratory system. So there's so many different benefits that each essential oil has. We're going to use 20 of these. And what we're going to do once we have all the oils in here is we're going to fill the bottle up the rest of the way with distilled water. And this, if you keep it in the house, I mean, I know it's a bug spray, and a lot of times I always put it on my table out in the backyard, but I don't like to leave it out there because you have to be concerned about the temperature. The heat can affect your essential oils, so I tend to keep it in the house in a nice cool place. Now the arbor is going to come out slower, which I'm not doing it because it is a wood oil. You notice the other oils went quicker. This one's going slower. This one is the cedar wood. And wood oils tend to be thicker. So they come out of the orifice a little bit slower. But our instinct is to shake it to get it to go quicker. And it's not going to make it go any quicker. So patience, it's worth it.
So Patty, it's 20 drops of peppermint, cedarwood, and arbor vitae, and 10 drops of eucalyptus and lemongrass?
Yes. And this one is.
I remember growing up, one of the ingredients in the bug spray was DEET, D-E.
Yes.
Some other people may know that. And I have to be honest, when I put the bug spray on, I didn't feel so good. So I was the same way. I did not use bug spray because I didn't want to. I didn't feel good. So I got some.
Like this. It's just kind of yucky.
Now, Patty, would you recommend that you refrigerate the bug spray?
You could. I mean, do I? No. I don't leave it outside though. I'll leave it in my house. My house is air conditioned. Not all the time, trust me. I like to have my windows open. So the minute I get a chance, I do. But I do keep it in a cool, like dry space. I try and keep it away from the sun. Because the key to keeping anything, even though you have it in your glass bottle, the sun has an effect on everything. It breaks everything down, the heat and all that. It breaks down the purity of the oil. So then you would just shake it up. Each time you use it, give it a little shake because you want the oils to blend together again. Oil, water, oils float to the top. So you just want to, and then you just, with this, you always have to remember less is more because essential oils are extremely potent. So you don't want to overdo it, and you don't have to overdo it. You can spritz it on your body. I even do it on my sneakers and my socks to keep any bugs off me. That if I'm in the woods or walking around, it is great for a repellent. ticks and all. So that is my bug spray.
Patty, we have two questions. One I think you already answered, but someone was asking, was the distilled water cool?
Was it cool? No.
It was
Did I
just
have
room temperature?
I'm sorry. Yeah, just room temperature.
Okay.
The
And
cool water was in the compress, obviously, to give you the cool water.
okay, right. So I think, you know, someone was asking about refrigerating, and I think as far as the oils go, it's probably the worst thing that can affect the oils are the heat.
Yeah.
Cold isn't an issue as much as heat can tend to degrade things. So
I
that's
don't
why.
harm anything if you keep it in the refrigerator. And honestly, if you think about it, when you're outside and it's hot to spray coolness on you, it always feels good. I think the heat, that's where you got to be more concerned. And you know, like I said, I have this in this bottle. If I'm traveling somewhere, I'm going to put it in a plastic bottle because I don't want it to break. We drop things. That's human nature. So I'll just use that for travel. And these bottles come in all different sizes.
We have another question, and I think that's going to lead to your next recipe. Marcy was asking, can this be used on pets too?
I do have one for pets, and actually it does have basically the same oils that's in here. The difference with the pets, though, when we make the bottle, it's in a smaller bottle. It's a less amount of oil. And that brings us to our next recipe, which is keep the buggies off me. Which this is great to spray on your dogs, you know, when they're outside and you have the flies swarming around them. And what I would do is I don't spray it directly on my dog. I spray it into the palms of my hand. And then I rub it down the dog's back, around their rear end, their legs, their belly, behind their ears, their tail. Never going anywhere near their eyes or their nose or their mouth. Their neck, but you use it on your hands. And the dogs is made with essential oil and fractionated coconut oil. You never use water. Water with the essential oils on a dog, it penetrates to their skin too quickly. So it's just, you just want it to be more of a soothing way of going into their system. And the oil helps that go slower. So for the dog, keep the buggies off me, what we're going to use is basically the same exact oils as we use for the bug spray, but 10 drops of everything, which would be arborvitae, peppermint, lemongrass, and cedarwood, and then only 5 drops of eucalyptus. And then we would fill the rest of the bottle up with fractionated coconut oil. And then I would once again spray it on my hands and rub it into my dog. His stomach, his legs, his paws, behind his ears, on it, you know. Just stay completely away from the eyes and the nose. And this recipe is from a veterinarian who is involved in with doTERRA products as well. And her name is Dr. Janet Walk. And you will, in the slide, you'll get the email, her webpage. It's go.essentialoilvet.com. And she has a new book that she just published. I just ordered it. And it's recipes for dogs and cats. Essential oil recipes for dogs and cats. So I'm putting 10 of each of the other ones in. Funny, I can't go up and down at the same time.
Patty, can you use these same, keep the buggies off dog spray for cats?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to say no because I didn't do the research on cats, but I believe you cannot use eucalyptus on cats. So when you go to that go.essentialoilvet.com, she has a list of oils and that because dogs and cats can use almost all. There are a few oils that cats cannot have that dogs can. So I would check. When I went to the aromatherapy school, believe me, we really didn't do much about animals. It was more for people, but the veterinarian, she has a Facebook page as well. And then there's also the dog oiler who has recipes on there as well for cats, horses, rabbits, all types of animals. I would say definitely refer you to them and go based on their knowledge of it, especially since she's a veterinarian and she uses them quite often. So I feel safer to tell you to go with her advice.
I'm adding it to the chat as you're talking.
But this is a recipe that I do get off of those websites. And then we also have the next one would be a Boom 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 diffuser. And what's very interesting about that, I know we're a little bit late. It's for fireworks, but it's for any stressful situations. And you can diffuse. There's a lot of calming oils for animals that you can diffuse in your house. And the key to diffusing with animals is you want to make sure that you have, open space where you're diffusing it. You don't want them locked in the bedroom and have the door closed and diffuse a lot of oils because it could be too much. So you want them in an open space. And you also want to put the oils on yourself too, because you don't realize it, but when your dog's anxious, you get anxious. And your animal or your cat, your dog, your cat, they pick up on you, on your anxiousness. So this is to keep the buggies off me. So I would just, every time I go to use it, I would shake it up and I would put it in my hands, rub it, and actually inhale it myself because it's great. And then I would rub it down the dog's back, into the tail, the legs, anywhere those flies, that's one of the big things is the flies. Those flies are very annoying. And the recipe is for a dog that, an inside dog, a dog that goes outside with you during the day, but not a dog that's outside all day. You're not going to get the same benefits. So that is keep the buggies off your dog spray. So the Boom Boom Boom, you do in your diffuser. I have that right here. And the oils that are suggested are all calming oils. And there's quite a few here. There's Serenity, Lavender, Roman Chamomile, Cedarwood, Pedigree, Vetiver, Hopiiva, and Adaptive. I wouldn't say use all of them at the same time. I would say start with lavender. Lavender is like the queen of oil. It's calming, it's soothing. And if that's, you don't see the dog getting much relief, then I would add maybe Serenity to it. Because a lot of times when I diffuse, I like to put a bunch of different things in based on what I'm feeling, what I'm looking for, because each oil does, has so many different benefits. So for my dog for the 4th of July, I use the Adaptive and the Lavender. And I did use Vetiver. That's a wood one, which is very nice and soothing. So I put it in the diffuser, and I had it going in my living room where he was laying down. And, talking, calming him down. But my husband's like, you need to sit down because you're the one running around, because I was upset because he was upset. And he's like, he's picking up on you, and that's so true. So you try and use the calming oils on yourself, around your neck, behind your ears, on your wrists, here, just inhale it so that you calm yourself down, and then they'll pick up that they don't have to be fearful. They want to be your protector, but yet they're scared too, so that's it. And all of these oils you could use on yourself as well. So whatever I put in the diffuser, I put on myself. And those are my oils and my recipes. Any questions?
Someone was asking what would be your top 3 or top 5 essential oils that you must have. And I was kind of responding in the chat with my faves, which I mentioned. Lavender is what we call the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. That's not the cool thing about these oils, is that it's not a one and done. There's so many different applications. Like lavender is, like I said, is calming to the mind and the skin. It's an antihistamine, it's relaxing, it's soothing, it's antibacterial, it's regenerative. Sunburns, scars, burns, allergies, hay fever, bug bites, and hives. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I didn't even get into sleep issues, but holy moly, that's a whole nother ball game right there.
That's for sure.
Lemon is, I love lemon. 2 drops in water to help remove toxins from my body. You can use up to 20 drops a day. It also has great cleaning properties. I don't use ammonia anymore, it's gone. I use water, white vinegar, and lemon essential oil, and it smells so much better. And I also use the lemon oil in cooking too, believe it or not. I don't put it in a plastic bag because I know it's going to degrade the plastic. So if I'm going to use it as a marinade, you know, I'll make sure that I use it in a ceramic dish or a glass dish. I also use it in salad dressings. Yeah, why not? Smoothies. Oh my God. Yes, smoothies. This morning I had a blueberry, lemon, ginger, I think there was something, oh, banana, vanilla smoothie. It was great. And I was going to get to my third, which was peppermint. I love peppermint, anti-inflammatory, analgesic, cooling. It has a delightful scent. It's uplifting. Another reason why I spray it on myself in the morning is because it helps to open up the airways so I get more oxygen while I'm walking. They've done studies with athletes, and one of the things that they tend to use a lot is peppermint, whether they put it on the tip of their helmet inside so that it affects a little bit of their brain and opens things up, or they put a drop under their nose. It is a strong oil though. You can put a drop in water. I know sometimes in the afternoon, if I need a pick-me-up, I'll do like an orange and a peppermint together, smell it, put it in the diffuser. Cooling to the skin for fevers, hot flashes, burns, sunburns. Peppermint is a beautiful oil. So if I had to say any 3, I tend to use those a lot. Those would be in my top 3. I did just want to mention too, spearmint. Now for some people, I know like my daughter seems to be sensitive to the peppermint, so she likes spearmint. And as a matter of fact, if you have any little ones at home, they tell you not to use peppermint on toddlers or babies because it's too strong for them, but you can use spearmint. And what I like about spearmint, it's a little sweeter than peppermint. It's also anti-inflammatory. It's also antiseptic. You can use it for cooling and fevers. You can also use it for focus issues. I don't know about you guys, but I had some problems back during that whole COVID thing. Stress and nervous issues, headaches, sores, scars. You do want to be careful and not just directly, like if you've got an open wound, you don't want to like put your oil directly in the open wound. You want to be very careful about how you're applying it, whether you go around the outside, whether you combine it with fractionated coconut oil. What fractionated coconut oil does, especially for elderly or children, it doesn't dilute it, but it creates the spreadability, just like Patty was talking about with the pet spray. It slows down the absorption into the skin. So it's absorbed a little bit slower, so it's a little bit safer for those people who have thin skin or little babies or the elderly. So let's see, I think we have a couple new messages. Thank you so much. Can you recommend about how to go get aromatherapy certified? Patty, do you have any suggestions for getting aromatherapy certified?
Aromahead.com. That's the school I went to, aromahead.com.
And someone else is asking, do you know of any good recipes for people with lupus? Okay, so I'm going to back up for a second
you
here.
know, I don't feel, you're freezing. Are you
Me?
there?
I'm
yeah.
here.
Okay. Do I? No. And I say that because I have it, and I use a ton of different oils, essential oils. I use them all the time, and I feel on a personal level, you have to try the different oils that see how they work for you. And I don't want to sit here and say I can tell you what's going to work for you. So with that being said, I would a lot of these books do have recipes in it, not recipes, but ideas on like essential oils for this, and they'll give you a whole list of the different oils, like this particular one, Essential Oils, Ancient Medicine by Dr. Josh Axe, Ty Bollinger, and Jordan Rubin. They give you a list of the oils that work for essential oils for lupus. And like I say, some people, there might be one oil in there that they don't agree with. So it's something you need to try on your own and kind of find out what works for you. But I will say that I have, I don't know if I'm supposed to can do this, but I'm going to do it. I have been taking these vitamins, which is from doTERRA. And a couple of years back, I took them. And I felt wonderful on them. I loved them. They were amazing. And my doctor was like, "What are you doing? Your liver tests are all crazy. Stop doing what you're doing." And I said, "I started taking vitamins and I feel great on them." And he told me to stop. So I stopped. Thinking, okay, he's like, "Okay, so you stopped. Look, the tests are back. The tests are a little better." But they never went back to normal. Only to find out the medicine I was on was for the liver failure. So was it the vitamins or was it the medicine? My opinion and my belief was it was the medicine, because I'm no longer on that medicine, and my liver tests have never come back the same way. And I'm on the vitamins, and I love them, and I feel great on the vitamins. So that's one thing I have to say that I do believe in. And having it, I think you should give it a try and see what your doctor says. And I think they're wonderful vitamins, and they're all natural. So as far as just specific oil, there's so many different ones that work for it. You have to just find out what works best for you.
And that's a really good point that you bring up, Patty, is that, just like you go to the doctor and he prescribes something for you, sometimes it doesn't always work for you because your body responds differently. So one of the things that both Patty and I provide samples if you guys are interested. We always say, try it, tell us what you think, see if you got the benefit from it. Maybe that's not the oil for you. And it's true. That's a good point, is that, and that's why we say, try the samples first, Patty, I was going to ask for your email address so that if people wanted to reach out for samples, could they do that?
Absolutely.
So can you just tell me what your email address is again?
PFKE90 at iCloud.net.
I'm going to put that in the chat. PFKE90 at
iCloud.net.com. Sorry.
Okay, good. So there was two things that I thought of, and one, that was about, yes. Patty and I are also connected with a holistic health coach that we could, connect you to. So if you wanted to take this a little further, I think talking about an autoimmune disorder is pretty far up there. And I think it's best that, it's to try to get to someone who's a little bit more knowledgeable about the body systems, right, Patty?
Yes. And, I really got involved with doing the aromatherapy class because of that autoimmune. And like I said, I mean, it was a wealth of information. But I still truly, full-heartedly believe you have to find out what works best for you. And, I can't, that's my key on it. And I think having somebody like Terry's, like Madeline is saying, who is so knowledgeable about the holistic part of it, and she's a great person to go talk to. I just agree with you on that.
Someone asked a question about oils for sleep. Oh, pick me. Yeah, with this whole issues with COVID and whatnot, yes, sleep was eluding me. I can say my first line of defense is always to go with lavender. You can put lavender on the bottoms of your feet. You can put it behind your ears. You can put a drop or two on your pillow, on your blanket, whatever works for you. You can diffuse it. Great first.
So like we did in the last class and spray it on your pillows?
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Put in a little spray bottle, a little bit of distilled water, and you can spray it on your pillows. Patty had an oil up there called cedar wood. It's one of the wood oils, very grounding. Sometimes I find that helps me out also, and I can put that on the bottom of my feet. And then there's a third oil that I tend to like called vetiver, which is made from the root of a plant, and that helps stop what we call mind chatter. I don't know if anybody else has that, but I can tell you after I go to the bathroom at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and I try to go back to sleep, I feel like my whole side of my brain is just doing 100 miles an hour. I try to make sure that I put the vetiver on behind my ears. Sometimes I'll put it up just a couple of drops across my temple and up into my scalp, across the back of my neck. And I do find that helps also. And sometimes I have to go take another step further depending upon how busy my day was and how many neurons were firing and what was happening in my head and in my body. Sometimes I need to go to a supplement, but I only choose the botanical supplements from doTERRA. There's one called Serenity, and then there's another one called Adaptive, and both of them are botanicals. We know what's exactly in it. We know that it's not going to have, or at least for me, it has no effect whatsoever. And I absolutely love those, and those are my second line of defense. If I know that I need something a little stronger, I know I can take a Serenity capsule, which has something called L-theanine, and it also has some lavender and a few other things in it. We can even make, I know for someone I made up a blend of the Serenity, the cedarwood, and the vetiver in a little roll-on bottle like I was showing you guys. And you can actually then apply that to the bottoms of your feet or behind your ears or the back of your neck. Test it and see how it works. Okay, someone was saying their sister brought them goat milk with lavender soap and it makes them sneeze. The company that we're affiliated with, I'm actually
That's funny because I could use lavender. Lavender, I hated lavender until I smelled doTERRA's lavender. Me sneeze like crazy. Any other lavender I would try, and then doTERRA's lavender. And I'm like, no, I don't want to try it. Lavender makes me sneeze. Tried lavender from doTERRA, and it's unbelievable. I don't sneeze. So they might have used a different, not a pure oil in that goat milk. So
true. But Patty and I are both affiliated with the company. I'm a wellness advocate and educator. I took a certification recently to become an essential oil specialist, so I really had to brush up learning on the distilling and all of that, which was pretty interesting. And doTERRA doesn't have a brick and mortar store because that's not the belief in the company. The belief in the company is to share and to help educate others about the oils. So if you were interested in them, we want to offer you samples to try. We want to help you to understand. Matter of fact, one of the ladies in the doTERRA organization is doing a cleanse from the quarantine, and it's all about like getting rid of that stress, mental and physical stress that we were all dealing with, and try to get back to healthy habits so that we can actually start to have good dreams about our future and positivity. So those are the things that are advantages that you get that you might not get with a brick and mortar store or with another company. I can tell you doTERRA's belief is to change the world one drop at a time. They're involved with what we call co-impact sourcing, where they try to give back to whatever third world country they're involved with, and they source their oils from all over the world, depending upon the chemical constituency. What do they get from the soil, from the sun, from the water, to make sure that that oil has that therapeutic benefit. And so, for example, Vetiver in Haiti, what they did do there was they installed a whole fresh water system for them. And because they would see the little kids walking along the road with these 5-gallon yellow buckets that you would use for vegetable oil, and they were filling it up with water that was not drinkable. The kids would have to bring it back, and then they have to boil it. Well, they spent the whole day just getting water that they never were able to go to school. So doTERRA believes strongly in education and providing some real basic things in life. So they built a water system, and they are sustaining that. They are keeping that sustainable for them, and they are, any problems, they're there. They build schools, health clinics, provide feminine hygiene products for girls in countries that are not available. So someone just shared your same sentiment, Patty. Lavender really depends upon the source.
Very true. I agree with that one.
I think we gave you a lot of information. I don't want to be overwhelming with it. I know that there's a lot there, and we could both talk for a long time. But I strongly recommend that if
Storms. I think we lost Madeline. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for coming. And all right, I'm going to say good night, everyone. Thank you all for coming. And we will have this recorded so you can go back and view it again and get the recipes out to you. And if you're interested in more programs like this, please let the library know. And Madeline and I both appreciated you all being here and enjoyed giving this presentation to you. And we will be gladly to mail you out some recipes, some samples. So feel free to just email us and let us know in the chat, and we'll send them out to you. Okay? Thank you very much. Have a good evening.